Okay, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. This is Robert Burns here in Seattle, and we'll get this thing kicked off. I wanna start with a promo that we're doing. The promo with the company just ended, so the pricing that is the new pricing is down at the bottom. That's the pricing for the duration now. On the other hand, we have a free test drive until January 18th, and somebody after that must be a paid customer of Manifest to continue with us. But we're giving people the opportunity this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, to uh, trade with us live. They can get a sense of, what we bring to the table, and they'll be able to plug in and no doubt we'll have some winning trades. We may have losing trades as well. So that's just real trading, but we'll do our best to have people use what we do and become profitable in their trading. So with that, one of the things that's a very important thing to do, and especially if you're up early as I am, I don't necessarily have all the adequate caffeine by this point in time. So in my morning, and so it's important to have a checklist. And the checklist is, sort of like what a pilot has, you know, not sort of exactly like what a pilot has. They don't have to think as much if they have a checklist. They can go through and make sure that they're not going to miss anything. And obviously, with something as crucial as flying an airplane, that's vital. It is here too. We're in something that can make a lot of money. It also, if you don't have your checklist, and your stuff in order, that can be very problematic. What I've just shared on my screen here is a thing called Forex Factory. This is a very useful tool that you can plug into. And when you do, one of the things that you can do when you create an account, which I recommend you do, it will automatically compute all of these news events in your time zone. So here are these news events in my time zone, the Pacific time zone in the US. Wherever you are in the world, if you create an account, you can see that you're logged in right up there. There's my account. You can also filter things right here where you say, okay, I don't necessarily want to see yellow, but I want to see orange and red folder events. I can apply that filter and then voila. And today we have a pretty uneventful day, relative to some. Today, Tuesday, January 9th at 4:30 p.m. my time, Seattle Pacific time, we have a red folder with the Aussie, which is their consumer price index in Australia. Um, no, well, yeah, now we're starting to get into some that down here and on Thursday. Anytime you see US dollar in red folder, that's ones you want to pay attention to because those have potentially very high impact. So you see core CPI, again, consumer price index, 5:30 a.m. Pacific time on Thursday. There's a bunch of stuff here that is so the point of this is if you're new to trading, this may not seem significant. It can be like not being aware of a tidal wave, a tsunami sometimes. So you really have to be careful. You don't want to be out in your canoe when there's a big wave coming. And and sometimes they're rather uneventful, but if you're aware of them, you're prepared. That's the key thing. So that's why it's part of the checklist. The next thing that we're going to get into is top-down analysis. Robert Russell does a brilliant job of looking at the three instruments that we trade on this call are the USD JPY, the Euro USD, and the German 40, better known as the DAX. Those and the DAX is sort of the equivalent to the US 30 in the US. He's a European. He's in Ireland, so he likes trading the DAX. So those are the three that we trade. He'll draw out the zones and the market structure lines, and then ultimately, if there is a trade available, drill in on a trade and make a trade call. If there isn't one, we'll do some other things here, help you get up to speed on your trading platform, and hopefully make this as productive a use of time as possible. Also, I'll get into showing you a calculator, which will show you how to compute position sizes. It's a really nice, it's a dandy little calculator that's simple. And then later, as we get into this more over the next weeks and months, I'll show you one that's more involved, which we'll have to kind of segregate the attendees into beginning and more advanced. And we may use, there's features on Zoom that allow you to do that, where you've got a beginner room and an advanced room. It might be well suited for that. And then last but not least, check your position size in MT4 and MT5. And I just want to touch on that before I hand it over to Robert. If you look right here, here's the calculator right here. So let's say that I've established my position size. Make sure your position size up here in your one-click pro trading matches that. This is one I often miss personally. I forget and I get excited about the market. Or, oh, I got, I get FOMO, get the adrenaline going, and I hit it. I enter a trade and it's at the wrong position size. Make sure whatever you've taken the time to compute ends up in your one-click pro trader up there. So with that, I want to introduce Robert Russell. Robert and I have worked together. Next month will be about a year now. And he is in the country of Ireland, way up in the northwest corner of Ireland, a beautiful area called Donegal, which I had the opportunity to see and visit and most importantly, meet Robert and Karina. And that was great fun. My wife and I were coming back from Romania and we stopped in Dublin and then took a bus up to see Robert, and it was great fun. So with that, Mr. Russell.
Robert, thank you very much. Great to see everybody, folks. And as I say, not anything, folks, here is only education. It's not financial advice, and it is trade ideas. And Robert has gone through very important, the red folder, the factory, folks. So we know now going forward, we don't have any news that's really going to affect the markets. We have the New York Open in 20 minutes. Folks, I did post a trade into the chat a couple of hours ago. That trade is it's still there, but I'm watching it very closely. I'm not seeing the right movement that I want to, but we'll stay on the trade. But if I do say close it, we will close it at a small loss. But I am watching this trade closely, folks, okay? Robert just put up a disclaimer there. Very important, folks.
Yeah, and I had forgotten this one. Should be on the checklist. Guys, this is a very important document and risk disclaimer. Trading is risky. Your results will vary and are not guaranteed. This information is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice or a solicitation to invest. Trading, Forex, indices, metals, cryptos, and other instruments is at the full discretion of the user, and users are fully and solely responsible for their own trading results. You could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment and should therefore evaluate your risk tolerance before trading and only trade with money you can afford to lose. Any links in my posts may contain affiliate referral links and may generate a reward for the referrer. If you're new, another thing that we need to add on this overall checklist is trade a demo account. Trade a demo account, trade monopoly money. Don't trade real money until you have the confidence and the capability to have a high probability of having a winning outcome. It's vital to do that. The other thing I just want to just quickly touch on, this is a book that if you're a reader, this is a really good book. It's from a top-notch trader. He's worked for multiple Wall Street firms, won multiple competitions, and it's just an awesome read. You also can get the Audible that accompanies it on Amazon, either the book and the Kindle and the Audible are on Amazon. Very, very highly recommend this book for trading psychology. These are the instruments that we'll be trading: the DAX, the Euro, the USD. And again, Robert will get into the basics of this stuff, show you how this works. It's very, very important information that you'll learn from him, the basics of support and resistance. The crazy thing is this dude has been trading for a year, but he has developed a really great strategy, a breakout strategy, and it employs all of the basics that are just the basic blocking and tackling. If we have a lull in the action, which we very well may, because the markets they're still kind of getting back up to speed as far as volume. I'll get into the technical stuff, MT4, MT5, trading view, all of that kind of thing. And so with that, back to you, Robert.
Thank you very much, Robert. So folks, as I said straight away, we'll go in. What we trade, folks, what we look at is the USD JPY. We look at the euro versus the dollar, and we look at the German 40 OK. I'm going to share my screen, folks. I'm hoping, folks, we haven't missed a trade because I've been watching it for the last 40 minutes. It is the USD JPY, and it has broke through my entry line. I have it all set up, folks. Let me see on the 5 minutes. We still do have good down pressure, folks. I still would enter this, folks. I'm still happy to enter this. So the entry point, hold on, folks. It's pushed again. I don't want to jump into trade when it's gone through my entry. Not, folks. I'll not enter. I'll just wait. I'll just wait because I don't like entering a trade when it has pushed through my line because it's already on profit. All we can do is watch this. I'll just not, folks. I won't call this. I'm just not happy myself to call it. It's gone into profit. As you can see, the markings is all there. We did look at the euro versus the USD. This trade was put in earlier today. And folks, I just want to show you, folks, what I'm thinking. I'm on the 15 minutes here, and there is my trend line coming down, and the top line is my stop loss. This was the entry earlier on, folks. As you can see, it's still valid. We did go into a little bit of a drawdown, but I'm going to show you what I see on the 4 hours. Okay, why am I going on a sell? Okay, so folks, to me, I'm looking at a strong, we have the shoulder here, we have our head, we came down, now we're creating our second shoulder. And I do, like, folks, as what it says, it's the markets, they're not going to listen to me, but this is the way I have my charts all marked. My stop loss, possibility it might have to be risen a little bit. I'm not sure yet. But once we drop below my entry here, we should see a nice drop down to where I am at take profits. So with the Euro USD, we'll watch it closely because this could be our trade today. But where we're watching the Euro versus USD, we're going to check the dollar because this is going to tell us what's going on. Again, go down to the 5 minute. So folks, once you see the euro versus the dollar, what we're looking for is the dollar to break through this trend line here, what I have set up, and continue to weaken. Okay. No, we want the dollar. Now, hold on, folks, here. I need to check this out. I'm double checking everything. So we need the dollar. I just had a double check. I'm making sure. We need the dollar to continue to stay above my trend line, to continue to move up. Okay, so we need the dollar to continue to move up. So that's telling me then that the euro is weak. And we will get a sell on the euro then. That's what I'm hoping, folks. I have my stop loss up here at 109,536, folks, but I normally come out of a trade early, okay? If we broke this candles here, let's just say I'm going to put a line on here. I have my stop loss up here, folks, but if we break this blue line here right below me, I always come out of my trades early. I don't let it hit my stop loss because if it breaks these candles here at the top of this wick, okay, if it breaks the top of that wick, I would just probably come out early, even though my stop loss is a little bit above. Because the way I see it, if it breaks these candles here, it's going to continue to go up and it's going to break this here and possibly break through my trend line. Again, folks, this trade was called earlier. I'm in it myself. I'm going to stay in it. As what it says, folks, it's the bigger picture is what I can see. We go to the hour. I do expect it to, up and down till it gets into the corner here. I have my trend line coming up, trend line coming down. And what I needed to do is to break through this trend line, come down, retest the trend line, and then push on down, folks. Once we break this lows here, folks, okay, so we have a bit of support here to the left. So over here, support, we have a little bit of support here. So we need is a little bit of volume to push, get it a push down to break through our entry. Once we break our entry, folks, down through the other side of it, I can see a nice push down then, okay? So it's patience on which we have. We're not going to jump in, you know what I mean? I'm just going to sit and wait. Again, folks, it's all to do with the candles. Okay, so we've got a good push down here. We got another green candle. We got a red. We might have a doji here. And then if it's a doji, it's indecision. So hopefully then we could get a push down. But folks, we'll just sit, we'll wait. We'll sit and wait for this entry. Some people have entered here. Some people have entered there. But folks, if it breaks that blue line, I will cut my loss short. Okay, so that is the line that I'm going to cut here, even though my stop loss is above it. Okay, so the dollar has pinged off my trend line. So I need the dollar to keep pushing up. Okay, that's all I need, the dollar to keep pushing up. We'll look at the USD versus JPY. And again, folks, this is why I didn't enter. Okay, so that's, you know what I mean? I just says, no, I'm not entering the trade, and it kicked back up. Just didn't get the feeling. So just, it was a good to hold back on this trade. That's why it's better to wait so I get my confirmations. I'm going to check on the DAX. I'm going to show you the bigger time frame I'm on, 5 minutes. Let's go to 30. Okay, folks, as you can see, we're on, we're uptrend. Let's go to the hour. Okay, so a lot of people, folks, would just probably maybe put their trend line right below the candles. That's okay, but for me, I put it at the wick. Okay, right at the bottom here of the wick. But other people do it at the candle. That's okay. But for me, it's better for me to go to the bottom of the wick, and that shows me the support. What we're looking for is a possible break through the trend line. And we could get a possible entry here, folks. We could. Okay, I'm going to move this up because this could come. So I'd like it to maybe break through. Again, folks, as it says, we broke the trend line, we came back up. We broke the trend line again, but it is finding support here. It is respecting. People say to me the trend lines don't work. Well, and to me they do work, because it's respecting the trend line, coming up, coming down. So if we can get to break down here with a little bit of a push and break these previous wicks here, this is our possible entry. So possible entry, folks. Again, until it gets close, I will not call it.
And what are those numbers on the entry and the stop loss and the take profit, please?
So on the DAX, folks, okay, so your entry will be 16608. So that entry is 16608. The stop loss is 16653. So once more on the stop loss, 16653. And the take profits is 16549. So the take profits is 16549. Entry 16608. Again, folks, I won't call the sale until it hits the entry, but that is the entry point, stop loss, and take profits. Okay, folks, this could go up. This is just a possible trade idea for sale. If it comes up and it breaks these highs here, then we go in on a buy. Okay, so it's going to go either one way. So we wait. Again, the New York, it probably will give us the volume. Again, folks, we do, as it says, we do need volume. Like as I says, I called that trade hours ago, and it hasn't really done anything. It's just gone up, down, up, down. Again, I don't want to break in these levels here. Because folks, you've all heard of higher high, lower lows, higher high, lower lows. And this to me is a previous high. So if it broke that, possibility would come up and come back down and then come back up again and then break up. So we're always looking at the last previous high. As long as we stay below it, I'll stay on the trade. But the minute we break this previous high here, I'm out of my trade. Again, we are getting respect on this trend line, folks. Check what the dollar doing. Yeah, so that's okay. That's doing what I wanted. Wanted to push up. If I go to 30 minutes on the dollar, again, so folks, if the dollar could push up, let's say get up to this area here, we will get our entry, but we need the dollar to go up. Okay, the USD. Let's go down to the smaller time frames. Again, folks, as we say here, you have your higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. We could have a higher high, folks. We could, and then we could break this lower low here. So with possibility, folks, we could have an entry here. Okay, I'm going to call the numbers on the USD. So the entry, folks, would be 1, 4. Just want to make sure that entry is correct. So the entry for the USD JPY would be 143754. So the entry would be 143754. And the stop loss would be 144008. So the stop loss again will be 144.008. Our take profit would be 143362. So once more, folks, our entry 143758 possible entry. Stop loss 144008. And our take profits 143362. Okay, folks, as it says, I'm just giving out the markings, but there's no trade yet. As long as we don't break our highs, our previous highs here is what I always say, folks. But here we have a lot of resistance up here at this level. Okay, again, folks, the dollar is just, it's in this area. Let's see what the New York does. Let's see, can we get the volume? And again, the DAX, as Robert explained, folks, this last week and this week, I do feel that the volume's just not there yet. It's just, we don't have all the big traders, institutionals all back yet. Because we're all watching this and there isn't really much movement on these candles. We'll go to 30 minutes. We'll go to 30 minutes, folks. We do have, we do run a downtrend, but again, this line is here for a reason. This could just be a retrace before we kick back up. If we break this previous high here and we continue going up, then we could have possible entry up here. So we'll wait to see, can we get the volume to break up or to push down for a possible entry. Okay, folks, so this is coming, as it says, it's coming close again to our entry. This is in the USD JPY. The entry is let me make sure this is right. 143755, folks. It's close to that. 143755. That is the entry. That's the USD JPY. Take profits 143362. And the stop loss 144008, folks. Okay.
Hey, Robert, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't the USD JPY run kind of opposite of Euro USD?
So you have the dollar at the front.
Right.
So if this is dropping, which is the dollar at the front, and let's say the dollar is weak, that means the dollar strong, it means the euro. So these two will, if the dollar's strong, you're correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm just going to keep double checking here, folks. We will get an entry on one. just checking what the dollar is doing. Let's see the DAX, folks. The DAX might move now because of the New York, because the US 30 moves, the DAX will move with it. So I wouldn't really do a buy till we broke that previous high there. Okay, I just would not do it until we broke that previous high, and then we have our stop loss in this area. So folks, it seems to have found support here. This seems to be a level of support. You can look over here, it's found it here. So there seems to be support for the DAX here. But again, we wait folks patiently. I won't enter until we break this previous high. It's important that we break that previous high. Let's check the USD. I'm just running through these, folks. Again, folks, if that dollar breaks that there, if you were in that trade this morning, I will close it, okay? Okay, folks, so that has hit our entry, okay? So 143,755, folks, I have entered on the USD JPY sell. And our stop loss is 144008. Take profits 143362. I have entered, folks, on the USD JPY. Folks, this is about, I think that's the only trade that I'll call because the markets, they're just not giving me the action that I want. I'm going to come back to this, folks. Folks, this earlier trade here, I'm not happy with the euro, folks. I'm just going to close this, okay? This is an earlier trade that I closed. I'm closing it, okay? Before it even gets to my stop loss. I'm closing that trade from earlier. So if people missed it, folks, it doesn't matter. I did put it in the group, but I'm just closing it because it's broke my previous highs over here, okay? So I'm just going to take the small loss here. Okay, folks, so this has just gone into profit. Folks, this was the entry, as you can see here. So the entry was 143752. It's in profit at the minute. The stop loss 144008. And their take profits 143362. Folks, once the trade, as what it says, you open the trade yourself. It's truly down to yourself then to close it on your own. Candles. Just we're not liking this area here, folks. I've got to go look at the bigger time frame.
Robert, I've made you co-host. We have a big windstorm here and I could disappear instantly.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Folks, I might have my stop loss up here again, as what I always say. It's probably if I go above this level here, this is where I come out. Okay. So if you have opened a trade, we're going to move our stop loss tight because that's too much room. I don't like giving a trade that much room. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here, folks, because this is how Forex works. So if it breaks that previous high there, just say we'll give it a wee bit of room there. Okay, so our new stop loss is 143859. Okay, that's enough breathing room for that trade. New stop loss 143859. And the entry is 143752, where we're at the minute, folks. Checking what the dollar is doing. Folks, if we can't break out of this in the next minute or two, we've got to break out of here shortly, because to me, it's losing momentum going down. I don't want to go back up. Yeah, folks, we need the dollar to weaken. Folks, we just don't have the volume in that market today either. Folks, if it breaks this high here, it's an out, okay? It's going to be stopped. We need it to kick back down because we can't break a previous high here, because what happens then, you just do your higher high, lower low. So what we need to do is break this low here. So we need now a good push down, folks. We've got to break these lows. We didn't need the dollar going that way, folks. Unfortunately, it's going the opposite way on us. Need the dollar to go down. So we can break, if we can only get broke back down at this angle, we could get our push. Just need the bears to do a push down. We need red candles to kick.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Yeah, it's very slow slow moving, folks. It's like 15 minutes and it really hasn't gone anywhere at all, up or down. But patience, folks, it's all about patience and waiting. As it says, this is my stop loss. Other people might have their stop loss up here, but for me, I don't let my trades run away. I just cut them here at the top of this previous high. Again, folks, if we could get the dollar to go down again. Again, it's got respect at this level, which I don't like. Let's hope the bears keep pushing, folks. We need a big push to get down to this level. Again, we got rejected here, which is good. We just need the volume just not there to push. It's not very exciting, folks, sitting watching, waiting for it to come, but this is trading. Folks, I'm looking at this previous high. I don't even like the looks of that previous high if it breaks it. I'd rather get rejected and push back down. Just need the bears to give it a push.
Hey, Robert.
Yes.
Okay. There were two other trades that were called up in the manifest as well. Both of them hit TP.
Okay, excellent. Excellent news, guys. Excellent news. Folks, this is tough. It's not going our way at the minute. It's just getting rejected our level. It's getting rejected too many times. We needed to push, folks. We need this to push and push down to this level. Keep going. Folks, I'm just going to close it at entry. I don't get it. I'm just closed it here at the entry. I just closed it, folks. It's getting rejected too many times. It's tried to pierce it, but I'd rather go break even or a little loss. But I just closed that trade, folks. Okay. Folks, if you're still in the trade, as I says, this is totally over to you. I just broke out. It's a small loss I took out here. Because we've tried to break through the line several times and we've got rejected. Okay. So folks, that's me out of the trade. I can't see any other trade entries, folks. The DAX, it's just respecting the line. The euro is, I closed that trade, folks, up here as well. I took my loss. You know what I mean? That's all part of trading. You know what I mean? Taking your losses. Okay, and the market is really at the minute indecisive. It doesn't know what to do. Again, folks, as it says, you know, I'll take a small loss today. We'll be back tomorrow. And if we see trade entries, folks, we will put them into the chat. So, Mr. Robert Burns, you there, folks? It's just, guys, there's no movement at all in this area for me to break through our line here. And to be honest, I just can see it going one way now. So, folks, I did close that trade at break even. I will keep monitoring the charts in the background, folks, but I just don't see anything.
Good job, Robert. It's tough sledding at the moment.
Just hadn't It's just the volume, as I says,
Yeah,
folks. A
it's
lot of
not there.
people, it's not there. No, it's just not. It's not there to push it either way for us.
Okay. So this is an example of as we have opportunity, we will get into different stuff. And when there's a lull in the market, which the market really is not back to its regular volume in many cases. You know, probably be a week or two before we really see that. So with that, we'll shift gears here and get into some technology stuff. You know, one of the things that when I was brand new, that was daunting for me was that the notion of what position size should I be trading on a given instrument. And the thing that you need to be mindful of with position sizes is they vary instrument to instrument. Well, wait a minute. That's more complicated, isn't it? I wish somebody would have told me that early on, because I was placing the same position size on every instrument. That's not a good idea. Which broker are you on? To give you an example of this concept, if you're trading the US 30, if you trade RoboForex or FTMO, a $1 per index point is a one lot trade. On 8cap, it's a 0.1. On Envy, Hugo's Way, Sway, and some others, it's 0.01. Or Eagle is another one, 0.01. Because on the same instrument, the position size changes. It varies from broker to broker. Then, you know, how much money do you have in your account? Your position size is definitely related to that. And then most importantly, where are you placing your stop? What if you had something that would incorporate all this stuff and make the guesswork a lot less? What if? So what I want to show you is just that. So what you're looking at on the screen, excuse me, what you're looking at on the screen is the USD JPY, the one we were just on. And I'm using MetaQuote's demo account, but it's for purposes of training, always do this kind of thing on a demo, by the way. This account is $9,600. It just as easily could be a broker, and it will vary again from broker to broker depending on the instrument. So this is something that's really, really important to be mindful of, all those parameters I just shared with you. Let's say we want to figure out a short trade right now. So on this demo account, or on this setup of the calculator, and I'll show you where to do this in the settings in just a moment, but let's pretend I want to do a short trade. And it's immediately going to calculate the relative amount of risk that I have. Let's say I want to put the stop up there, right about there, and I want my take profit down here. Notice it's computed the position size immediately on this particular account to maintain approximately a 1% risk. That's a very important parameter that you set. My lot size is now 1.48, and this is on the Euro USD, or excuse me, the USD JPY. Now, let's say for the sake of discussion, I want to move my stop up here. I want a wider stop, and I'm not suggesting this is a good idea, but just for the purposes of demonstrating this feature, notice that the lot size has gone way down, because you're taking, you know, if you left the relative lot size the same, and you're going to put a stop up there, you're over trading. If you're trying to maintain a 1% risk. So you understand it has to adjust something. What is it? The variable is the lot size itself. That's the variable. The take profit doesn't impact this computation, because it's the difference between your entry and where the stop is that is your relative amount of risk on that given trade. Any questions on this so far? No questions. Okay. Let me show you the parameters for this. If I go to indicator list and I click on gadget PSC, I'm going to send you the link for this, by the way, here in just a moment. And you'll be able to download this and install it on MT4 or MT5. Some of the things that I find myself doing regularly is I like show price versus points. That's just a preference thing that you have the latitude to change yourself. My preference is price. I also have the panel size as small. Why do I have it on small? Because if I change it to automatic, you'll see what it does here. It just doesn't work for me. Notice where price action is over here and the calculator is to its right. If I put it on automatic, it's going to be just completely too big. Well, it didn't do it, of course. Let me get back there. Funny. See, demo and lose the sale. If you have a problem with the panel size and this becomes obtrusive and gets over the top of your price action right here, which it may, if it does that, I personally choose small right here. And when I do that, then everything seems to work fine. The other thing that I do is there's an indent from the left and an indent from the top. I have mine. This is a fairly high res Apple monitor. I have it down from the top 20 and down from the top 80 and from the left 20. So 80 in my case positions it right under one click trader, which is not too obtrusive. It's, it's not too big. It's just right there. And I can easily, not have, it won't foul me up as far as being in the way of my chart. So, that is the position size calculator. If we go over here to the euro and we wanted to do the same thing, let's say that we want to do a long on the euro. I'm just completely shooting from the hip here, but just to show you the mechanics. My 1% again, or approximately 1%, it's $9,600 in my account. There's a $94.80 loss if I get it wrong. So it's showing me exactly where that is to the swing low right here. And it's showing me my position size in this case is 0.6. Very different number. I think that's 0.6. Very different number from what we were just doing on the USD JPY. If I wanted to go to the DAX and play around with the DAX for a minute, which I can't on a demo account. Sorry, I forgot that. Well, just believe me on this. It's different. It's a different number. I'm on a demo account, so I can't do it. But you'll have different numbers on each of the instruments. Why? Because they vary. And so this will make the guesswork a lot less. In other words, now if I move this stop up to right here somewhere, let's say I'm going to move it up here. I think it's a slam dunk. It's going to go my way. What's going to happen to the lot size if I move my stop up on this long? What do you think? It's going to get bigger. Let's say I move it right here. It went from 0.6 to double that, more than double that, if I moved it right there. If I move it down a little bit, it's going to get a little smaller. If I move it back down where it was, down at the bottom here below the swing low, it's going to get quite a bit smaller. Yeah, John, it's directly related. Excuse me a minute. They've been slimed. Okay. This is in direct relationship. It's always going to maintain the same amount of dollar amount on the stop. That's the beauty of this calculator. It says you want a 1% risk. I'm going to show you 1% risk every time, no matter where you move your stop. If you move it closer to entry, it's going to go, the lot size is going to go up. So the variable is the lot size. The stop is always going to maintain a 1% risk because I have it set that way. Where do you set that? Go into indicator list, go to gadget PSC, go to properties, come down here and you see right here, risk in percentage or fixed amount right there. There's where it, by default, it has a 1% risk. You can choose whatever you want. If you want a 0.5%, 1/4%, you have very, very low risk tolerance. Cool. You want 3%, you can do that too. Whatever you want, you can define right there. The beauty is it makes the decision in the heat of the moment a lot more rapid and a lot more accurate. If you've got a slam dunk and you think this thing is really going to go my way, load the wagons. You can make a whole lot more money. If however, you are a little bit ambivalent, you want your stop to be a bigger distance, it's going to lower the lot size as it should, because it's going to maintain your risk. So if you put it down here, you still may only lose maximum 1%. Hope that makes sense. So there we go. Any questions on this, guys? Let me get this calculator and the link. I'll put this in chat. Be sure to click this link before you leave the meeting, the Zoom meeting, because that way you'll have it on your browser. When you click it, it'll automatically open up your browser. Robert, looks like you had something here you might want to have shared with us.
Yeah, I just went on the DAX. It's pushing up. It has found its support. So I'm just watching it here. It did get a wee pushback, but I'm expecting it to get pushed up.
Okay, let me, I'm going to exit the Zoom here because we're getting close to maybe an entry on a call. So go ahead and you've got the con.
Okay, so I'm going to wait till it re-hits this area. It did get rejected. But again, folks, we're following that trend line. It's found good support. If you go to 15, we got found support. Looking at the 30, again, we've got nice candles. Go down to the minute. I just want to see what happened here. Why did we get rejected? If we come back up, folks, let's just see. Let's just wait. It might come down here again and then come back up. So we'll wait till it hits its entry here. As you can see over here, it did get rejected. So we'll let it come back up and let it try and get broke through.
Could you give us the numbers on that, please?
So the entry will be 16652. That will be the entry. Stop loss 16606. And our tick profits is sitting at 16712. Okay. Folks, again, the entry 16653. We will wait till it comes back up. Stop loss 16606. And our profits 16712. Folks, what we are kind of creating now, it's like higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. So it says, folks, I won't enter till it hits this line. It did hit it, but we didn't get in. So what we want now is just to maybe find support at the trend line, come back up and break up, and then start creating higher highs. Again, folks, as it says, it's like the trend line, it's either the DAX is going to go up or it's going to come back down. Okay, so there is an entry in this area somewhere. Check on the hour. Give you a better idea. Just want to move this out. See, folks, this is the hour. Like there is of a lot of resistance at this level, okay? Support, I mean support, there's a lot of support here at the bottom of these candles. They all got rejected at the line. So we've got rejected once, twice, 3, 4 rejections here, folks. As it says, if we do break, we will get an entry either way, up or down. Again, that's what you do. You're creating higher highs, lower lows. At the minute it breaks this level here, again, folks, we could have an entry for a sell. It is, as it says, it's going to go up or go down, folks, but I'm going to be patient. I think we will get an entry. I'm going to remove this because it's looking more like to go down, okay? Let's go back to the minute. Okay, folks, it looks like the bears are getting in charge here. Just going to lay this up. Again, folks, we break our trend line. I would like to break this level here. So I'm going to do the entry. We're going to do a new entry here. Again, it's respecting the line. Again, we'll put the possible entry either side, folks, because this is where it's going to happen. So that's where the entry was here. Just going to place it up there. Okay, so folks, we're either going to go through either side. We're going to go to the downside or we're going to go to the upside. Okay, we did get rejected, but we've got good support. Okay, we got the rejection, but we've got even support at the bottom. Okay, that's a big strong candle, folks, there on the minute. Big strong candle coming up. Folks, the minute it touches this level, I'm entering at 16653. This will be my entry, folks. 16653. My stop loss will be below the bottom of this wick. 16. Let me see. I just want to drag it down a little bit, give it room to breathe. 16619 will be my stop loss. My entry is 16653. And then, folks, we will run it up, okay? We'll just let it run. So we're going to have our entry 16653. My stop loss is 16607. Okay, folks, it's just literally hit our entry. Okay, it's broke through it. So, folks, I just entered on the DAX a buy. I've entered.
And that entry was 16653 on a
Correct.
long.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So, folks, just might be a quick in, grab profits, you know what I mean? And we'll be up for the day. So this is what it's all about. So we are in profit. Okay, we are in profit, folks. Folks, as we're doing, we're just creating higher high, lower lows, higher high. We might get a little rejection into this area before we kick up.
niggers hate niggers. Dip, 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 dip. Niggers hate niggers, hate niggers, hate niggers. Dip, 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 dip.
Peter, it's the morning. Come to bed.
Niggers hate.
Suck a nigger, 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 suck a nigger.
Lui qui me fait tourner dans le vide.
Oh.
Robert, if you want to cancel and continue, or if you get them all out.
I think I got him out. I'm going to go to waiting room. Apparently he liked your trade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Folks,
yeah.
I'm
Oh
gonna
my God.
close that trade, guys, and profit. We'll end with the profit for today, guys. We'll bank up those little profits, okay? Because we're on profit, we'll bank it up. Because I just want to share screen. So I just closed the trade, folks, and a little bit of profit, so it'll end the day on a profit. Okay, so we'll finish the day in a profit. We'll get back to normal, folks. Bear with us. We'll work together. I think we have it. Okay, folks, so it says, folks, we closed it up here. So we're in profit, guys. I'll go out happy off the call. We had a small loss and now we've gained back the profits. So I've just closed out that trade. But folks, it's up to yourself if you want to stay on the trade, as what it says, but I closed it out. It took a wee bit of profit. So we finished the day in profit, okay? But it seems to continue to push up. And go to the 5 minute. As you can see, we entered here. And we've pushed up, okay? So
Arseholes. Pardon my French. These guys, you know, I guess don't have anything better to do.
no.
Jerks.
So Robert, this one's still pushing up, folks. It says I did close. We can watch it. I don't know who stayed in it, but we're still moving up. Hope it didn't put you off, folks. We've closed the day on profit. What it's all about.
All right.
Okay, guys.
I'm gonna grab share here a moment, Robert,
Okay.
if I may.
No problem. I'll stop sharing.
So this is something that you can do on MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5. This is an opportunity.
Robert, you can start sharing again.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? There we go. So what I did is, here was my line of entry right here, the green line. And what I did is I moved it, the stop down where Robert had called the stop. And then I moved the stop up above the green line. At this point, no matter what happens, I have a winning, I don't have a losing trade. It's moving the stop to a break even. So it was down here somewhere. I dragged it up, and literally I can just drag the stop around. So it was down here somewhere. 6606, I think, was the call. 166 was down here-ish, down in this neighborhood. So what I did, instead of leaving it here, I want to move it up here and protect the profit, and then I can let it run. Okay. And in this case, I have a trade that has 0.09. So probably what I'm going to do here, just for grins, is I'm going to show you how to take a partial profit. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to double click that particular trade. I'm going to enter, I have a 0.09. I'm going to put 0.05. And then I'm going to close that portion. Notice it went from 0.09 to 0.04. I just banked profit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my take profit number up to where Robert's take profit number, or what his line was, 16712. So that's up a bit. Let me get this over here where I can see it a little more readily. 6, 7, right around there. So when you see take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3, what I just did is I took one position and I took half of it off the table. Okay, I took approximately 50%. And now I'm gunning for, in this case, I just wanted to show you guys this. I took it off a little bit earlier, obviously, than where his take profit number was. But let's pretend that I had a take profit number 1 up here. I just took some of it off. Take profit 2 might be here, and take profit 3 might be higher. That's how you do it if you have one position. You can take partials by just simply going down here to that line, double clicking, modifying the trade, taking the piece off that you want to take off, close it, boom, it's in the bank. Then the remainder you can take out at the different levels that you want to do that at. So right now, no matter what happens, I've booked half the profit and I have a risk-free trade. That's the thing I want you to get your head around the most right here. In other words, this maneuver of taking the stop, putting the stop where it should be, and then as it goes your way, moving the stop up. It's got to come quite a ways down to hit that stop at this point, but notice the stop is above my entry. Okay, that's called moving the stop to a break even. Any questions on this?
Nope, I'm okay, Robert. Thank you.
Okay. And actually, the USD JPY trade I stayed in that one and actually did a little cost average on it, and it's going, I'm definitely in the black at this point, as you can see here. If I look, this top one right here is the DAX. It's definitely in profit. And then these two netted out against one another. I'll show you what I did. Up here, I saw this formation on the 5-minute right here. This formation right here. In other words, we were up going the wrong way. This is a short now. Then we saw this red candle right here, which is candle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 is the most recent one, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one right here, big long wick. And then another bearish candle. The body of the bearish candle closed below this previous one. This is a classic 3-bar reversal pattern. So what I did is I thought, you know what? I'm going to just take advantage of that. And I entered a cost average right here. Is this increasing my risk? Yes. So do this very carefully. But as you can see, it panned out nicely here. 31 cents on, or 72 cents on this one, 42 cents on this one, net positive. And here I've got a couple of take profits because I've got to take profit on my original position. Let's see here. 1631, I think was my original. Yeah. 1631 entry. So I have a take profit on that one of 143.42, which is this one right here, and then a bigger take profit on the one that I entered. I've got those backwards. Hang on. 143.42 would be on the earlier one, and this one down here, 143. Excuse me, 1 143.59. Okay, okay, I did have them backwards still. I've got two take profits. I'll leave it at that. And the beauty is that sometimes you can see something where opportunity presents itself in a trade and add additional position. It is doing a little bit of a retrace here because it's finding that same level of support that we ran into right there. But I think this is going to continue going our way. We'll see. If it gets beyond, if it gets next to netting out to one another, I'll just go ahead and close them all down. But hopefully that gave you some additional information on trade management. So this one, let me see which trade this is. I wish, this is one thing I don't like on MetaTrader 5 is they no longer tell you the order number over here on the TP, which is why I'm struggling with it. You see, it just says TP right there. Down here, I can see the take profit numbers right here, but I can't see it on the, if I've got two positions, which I do right now, I can't see which is which here. I have to come down here and go, okay, let's see. That one is 143.42. That's this one here. That's the original because it's down lower. Okay, that was my logic. This one here was a higher position level. So I thought, okay, I'm going to have this one hit a profit number right in here. Hopefully. And that means again, that I bank some profit here as it hits here. And then if it goes completely my way, that's a much bigger win. So that's what I elected to do on this trade. And you see, it is starting to correct a little bit our way. Got a little red doji there. So there, you know, it's indecision in a big way right here because we've hit that level right above our initial entry. And apparently that's turning into a good support level. Okay. Any questions on anything, guys? We've had a good day. Ultimately, you know, we're winning, and if those that stayed in the DAX trade, it's still going our way.
Yeah, still moving.
Yep. And it very well may hit that original take profit number that Robert called. So, you know, there's ways that you can mitigate your risk by taking partial profits along the way. And that's why I wanted to show you that, because it presented itself as an example of being able to do that. And it's a very important maneuver to learn later as your skills advance. If you're new, what we'll do, instead of having one position and then taking slices of that position out, we'll enter 2 or 3 positions and then set the take profits accordingly, where you don't have to do all of this maneuvering of pulling the profit out manually. You've already preset it, and you preset the stops and the take profits on 3 positions, and it matches what you see in the signals. When you see take profit 1, 2, and 3, you've got 3 positions. The first one you might set it for 50% of the overall profit, and then 25% and 25% on the other 2, meaning you got 100% ultimately. You want to always maintain your risk profile, but you can slice that up among different positions. And it's a way, you know, what's the most probable of take profit 1, 2, and 3? Number 1. It's the most probable. And you know, often it will just go, it'll hit that and then turn around and retrace. If however, it hits 1, you take it off, it gets taken off the table. And before you started, you computed that at 50% of the profit, let's say. It could be 40, it's whatever number you want. It's very subjective, but let's say it was 50%. Then you move the stop up, as you just saw here, and then you allow it to go to, you know, you'd move it up above your entry, which would mean you have a risk-free trade on position number 2 and 3. Then, and again, your take profits are already set on those, but the percentage of them, the first one, make it the lion's share because it's the most probable. Then number 2 and number 3, you set them in advance when you set the initial trade. That there's a calculator that's doing this, and we'll be showing this to you shortly. I mean, not, you know, in as I said, a couple of weeks. out. It's more involved, and if somebody's a beginner, it'll be over their head. It will. So I wanted to start with the more basic calculator and show you that first, and then you'll see this one where you set a 1%, and then you can slice up what percentage you want in all the positions of that 1%. Really cool. And it allows you to manage multiple positions, the most probable one being TP1. Take the big chunk out, move your stop up when it hits. Then TP2 and TP3 are already in there. And as you hit TP2, then you move your stop up again. And then let 3 run. Let it run for the moon. But you have booked the fish are in the basket on number 1 to start with, which is the lion's share of your trade. And then if you're fortunate enough to have it hit number 2, that one gets hit. Fish are in the basket on that one, and then you move your stop up a second time. I hope all that makes sense. You'll see that visually a lot more readily than just me, just hearing audio about it. But yeah. USD JPY is misbehaving. I'm going to take that one off the table.
Yeah, it seems to have found, as you says, Robert, support at that lower level.
Yeah,
it's not behaving.
It's not behaving.
No.
We're right at a critical level right now. It's actually where my other entry was, and I want to see if it retraces from here down, I'm out. If it continues pushing, or I should say, if it continues pushing, I'm out. If it retraces down from here, then I'll stay in. So we're at a critical moment right now. Let me go over to the USD. Here we are. You can see my green line right here. That's my DCA, my dollar cost average right there. Come on. And there's a fair level of resistance right here. So there's a good chance it may continue to retreat, in which case we'll turn that position back into a profitable one, but I don't want to eat a big loss here. So if it doesn't go our way, I'm going to be out. And most importantly, my wife has landed in Bucharest.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. Long day for her. Yikes. She took off at 2:30 in the afternoon yesterday and I'm sure just got to her hotel. This is about a 50% retrace on this recent move. I'm not liking that new blue candle. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm out. We're done on that one. So first part of that, I added a little bit to a loser there. So I don't like doing that, but there was a good chance it could have gone our way. It did for a bit. And then I was explaining something on the DAX and I didn't keep as close an eye on the store as I should have. So,
yeah. It was a good day. I think it was a good day. We finished a little bit of profit. So I think Barry stayed in, probably got a little bit more profit. Well done, folks. As what it says, we will give the trade ideas. For me, I'm all about, I take a lot of profit. I mean, I don't let my trades run a lot. As soon as I get profits banked up, I bank. So it all adds up. And my target daily is 1%. So that's my target, 1%. And my risk is probably 1.5. So if I lose 1.5%, that's me done for the day. So today we made.
I'm out of that one too.
Profit. Yeah.
So let's see how we did. Yep. It's basically a break-even day for me because I did that dollar cost average. But on the DAX, had I done just the DAX, I would have been just fine. I did take a gold trade earlier. So it's a break-even day. I mean, I literally had 1 penny in profit. If I had done just the DAX and not played around with the USD JPY, it would have been you know, in just the trades we did, it would have been
Yeah.
a solid profit. And the nice
Ravi?
thing is this little account here is trading into some that are quite a bit bigger. So I do like to make sure I don't get beat up on losses. You know, this is training, but it's also a real account, and it's trading into several others that are quite a bit bigger. So I like to make sure not to allow any of those to get beat up for obvious reason. Now close to Robert's end. Oh, maybe we should take Robert, you might want to call up the Euro USD. Ravi brought to our attention that there may be some
Okay.
good things happening there.
Move everything out of the way. There's just stuff everywhere. Okay, so there is on the minute. And 5 with 15. We have down pressure now, folks. Again, folks, as I says, you know, I stopped out. I'm okay, still in profit. If I would have stuck with my stop loss, it didn't touch it. As you can see, it just went close. So I didn't get stopped out on that. So if people were still in the trade, they're still in it. And again, folks, we're getting close, but it's just not liking this area either down here at the bottom. Let me see, folks. I'm going to go to the minute because I want us to. What normally happens is we get through the trend line, we break through, and then we come up, we test it, and then we continue to go down. So let's see what the 5-minute candle does. Let's see what the dollar is at. Okay, so we need the dollar to push up, which it's doing. Again, folks, this trade could, if you're in the trade, you entered it here, you entered it there. This trade possibility, folks, it could play out, a couple hours, it could kick down. And folks, the entry on that is 109,294. That is the entry. 109,294. That is the entry. And again, our stop loss is 109,518. So that is the stop loss, 109,518. And I'm going to go to the bigger time frame to see our tick profit, because that's quite a bit down. So the tick profit is 108,830. Okay, so entry 109,295 and stop loss 109,518 and take profits 108,830. Again, folks, we don't want it breaking up through the trend line. We want it kicking down again. Okay, we want the bears to push this. As you can see, folks, we did get rejected. It came up. And as I says, as long as it doesn't break previous highs, that's continuing the trend down. But what you want now is this is our low. So break down below the low and then come back up, create another high, and then go down and break our previous low. But it's just respecting the trend line at the moment. Folks, these two lines, they're there for a reason. Like that line's coming down, it's respecting it. This line coming up, it's respecting it. I would rather break down before we come into this area. But I do expect the dollar or the US euro versus the dollar to go down.
Let that sit just for a minute, if you would. I want to get a screenshot of that.
Do you want all the markings, Robert? I can put the markings all in for you if you want.
I just want levels right now. So if you can get that position so levels are on there, that would be perfect. Over to the right. And have you got to take profit on that one? You do. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Is that okay?
Yeah, that is. Just let that sit for a minute. Got it. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, folks, this is a trade that could play out for, like I did call it earlier today. We're still in the trade, whoever took it, because it never got stopped out. So this trade could just run for hours.
It's a good call on the USD JPY pulling the plug. It went ballistic.
No, I didn't like it. I think we just had a small loss, not a small loss. So with the DAX, we should have ended the day in profit, folks. Again, this trade, it's not closed. I closed it, I did take the loss, because I just wasn't happy. I broke that high there, as you can see. Again, what it done, folks, when I look at this now, I go back and I always look back and say, what happened to trade? All what it did was come up and it grabbed liquidity. Okay, that's what this trade did. It came up and it took liquidity to the left. So most of us, we would have had our stop losses here above these candles. That's why I always say go higher. And as you can see, this came up and just took out whatever liquidity was here, and then it's going back down.
And see, if you are going to go higher, which is prudent, what is your position size going to do?
That's correct.
It's going to get smaller because you're taking more risk potentially if you move your stop up. So you should proportionally, and then the calculator comes into play. It makes it so it's a no-brainer to do that. But that's a really smart move because see where his stop is positioned is well above those wicks, and the wicks are the telltale. Grabbing liquidity, and then retrace, grab liquidity, retrace. That's the big guys saying, thank you. And if you place your stop above them, you can see sometimes, not always, but sometimes you're not going to get taken out, but don't leave your lot size the same because you're going to get punished if it does hit it. You want to make sure your lot size is proportionally correct by stretching that stop up. This is where the calculator comes in.
As you can see, folks, this is what I always say. We broke the trend line. We came up, we tested it. What we want now is to come down and break these lows here, and we should be able to gain momentum to push down.
And if you see that, Robert will call that in the room. In other words, if he does an entry, so you now know the numbers and are ready for it. But where the entry, if it's time, you'll see that in the signals group that we have for us. So keep an eye in there because it very well make that move here in the next few minutes actually. And if we're not on the call, always go to the room, to grab that information.
All it needs is a good push, the bears to really get behind it. Like we have nice big candles, 1, 2, 3. Folks, normally we get 3 candles like that, and there's pressure, there's good force. There's a good chance we're going to get another push down here. Again, we'll wait. So that is the 5-minute. Let's go to the minute. Again, it's okay, folks. We broke the low, which what I needed. Maybe come down, break down below our entry, come up a little retrace, continue going down. It's just we're creating lower lows, higher highs.
Where's your stop on that one again?
So the stop is 109518.
109518.
Yeah, that's the stop.
And entry is 109,294.
5. Yeah, 294. Yeah.
294. And while I'm at it, what is your take profit?
So it's well down here. It is 108,830.
Okay, thank you.
Again, folks, all we're doing is we broke our low. We're going down, creating a lower low, come up and get a higher high, and then kick down again. Okay, that's just what we're doing. Because again, the markets they just don't go one way. It's like down, up, down, up. Okay, this is how it works. I do know a few folks that did come in up here, higher up. So there is a couple of people that was talking to me that jumped in up here. They says was a better entry. So whoever jumped in there, folks, they're in nice profits. Folks, it's taken quite a while for this trade to actually come to our entry. Breakout, folks, here. We have a lot of support here at the side. So it's just a matter of breaking below it, getting down into this area. And we could come down here and then trace back up and then kick down again. But we're going to find a little bit of resistance here. But once we break the resistance, folks, I do expect a good drop. And a good spot by Ravi. He's seen that, so well spotted.
Mm-hmm.
Again, folks, the lower time frames tells you a lot because you can see the bigger candles. Again, folks, what I'm looking at here now, if I was looking, I don't want to come back up again, break that there level there. Okay, I just don't want to see this getting broke again because that is a higher high. Maybe trace up. I'm going to draw a wee angle here. What I think is going to happen. So maybe go down a little bit, folks. This is where I am going. Just get rid of that one. Okay, so folks, this is what I'm looking at. Okay, down, up, down, and then possibly come up again and go down. Again, folks, so now we have broke through that level. So that was big support. So we have another trade in profit. So whoever stayed on, guys, well done. We have another trade in profit. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So I'm going to go to the 15-minute. Folks, I will get rid of that writing because we can't see what's going on and I don't like that. Okay. So again, folks, we've got to be careful over here. We're looking over here to the left. We've got support again. And we did get rejected at that level. As you can see here, this is another, we broke through here. Okay, now we're finding more support again. So if we can break that level there, guys, if we break this level, I'm just going to plant a blue line. I won't hold you too much longer. We break here. I can't see no reason then why we can't come down here fairly quick. So these two levels are the levels we're going to watch. We break this level, we'll come down here pretty quick, I think. We'll get down here. Robert, do you want to stay on? Folks, this trade, as what it says, it's just going to play out if you have your stop loss in place. Yeah, folks, I will leave the stop loss there because, you know, it is above that high. So I'm happy with the stop loss. Again, you're just lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, possibly coming in here, folks, and then continue to go down. It doesn't always happen like that, but you can get a falling knife. It just means you just see continuously red candles. If just drop, 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 that can happen. Hey folks, I'm going to finish up for today. I have another Zoom coming up in 15 minutes. Robert, I will see you in about an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to wrap up as well. So I want to thank everybody for coming today. And by all means, let people know if you're a builder that these are free the next couple of days, Wednesday, Thursday, and then ultimately next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then somebody will need to be a paid customer to attend these, but you can use it as a promotional tool because, you know, hopefully we're adding enough value to your experience that others will want to experience that as well. Our hope is that we can add enough value that what we're doing is worth the price of admission, let alone all of the other benefits you get from Manifest. So we're trying to really create the value proposition being compelling. And that I did an entry, by the way, right at that entry level that you had, and it is promising.
Good.
It's bouncing into profit a little bit. And so I'm going to be managing this trade. But again, want to thank everybody for attending today and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, Robert, for everything you do. And thanks everybody for attending.
Likewise. Great job today, Robert. Bye for
Thanks,
now.
guys.